There was pace from our team. There was good compete, and we had contributions from all 4 lines and 6 of our defensemen. So that is kind of, what you would like to see every game for a full 60 minutes. I mean, that's what we feel like we're capable of.
It's obviously Jonathan playing against his former team. It does seem like it's been a challenge of him lately. Just what have you seen on him the past 2-3 weeks?
It's a little bit of the same. I mean, he's getting some opportunities with Michael and Cole now, and it's just a matter of staying with it. That's the biggest thing. And sometimes when players that expect to score aren't scoring, there's a tendency to think that that's all they are. But there's more to his game than just that. He brings other things to the table, and sometimes it's important for him to remember that too.
What are those other things that you think he can bring if he's not?
You can see the change in his play away from the puck. Now he's responsible. He understands his positioning as to where he needs to be. He's committed to that side of the game. So if he trusts that side of it, eventually the other side will turn.
We've made the Kachuk-Huberdeau trade really about those 2 guys, but Mackenzie Weegar has played really well for you since that trade. Do you feel like he's kind of like a forgotten man in that whole storyline?
I don't know if he's forgotten. I mean, he was a big part of that trade in our eyes for sure, and getting him back and then getting him signed and then seeing what he was able to do really after the All-Star break is where we saw him play to the potential or the way we expected him to play when he first came here, and he's kind of carried that on this year. So I don't think he was forgotten per se, but I think he's really showing people how good of a defenseman he is right now.
What kind of lift can Chris Tanev give your blue line and team as a whole?
He is that security blanket, maybe, that when he's back there, guys feel better about if they had to make, or if they happen to make a mistake, there's someone on the ice that's probably going to cover them up. That's the way Chris is. So he's got a calming presence about him. He's got great leadership in the dressing room, and he plays the game the right way.
Just Ryan, I know Connor Zary's worked really hard to improve his skating ever kind of since he was drafted or before that. That 4th goal the other night where he, kind of fends Brandon Hagel off the whole way off the ice. Would that have been possible for him a few years ago?
Probably not, and not just because of the skating, but I think maybe because of the young guy strength and maturity and learning how to use your size or your positioning to your advantage a little bit more. But that goal is, I think it's a good picture of why he's had success for us. Like he's using his body the right way to position himself properly, and he's got great composure with the puck where he doesn't throw it away. And he's learning how to make good decisions with it. So there's a good time to try to make a play, and I feel like more often than not, when there's a time where I shouldn't be making a play, he's making the right decision and putting it to an area where we can get it back.
How's it feel to have Markstrom and Tanev available for you tonight?
Great for both of them. Happy to have them for sure.
Just on Jonathan, like the contract being what it is, like, is there a way the organization can alleviate that pressure? Like how do you, like, maybe if that pressure comes with that contract, is there a way for, as a coach or organization, to alleviate a little bit of that?
Pressure, sometimes, I think you have to look at pressure a different way. Like, that's something that you've, if you don't have pressure on you, then you're not an impact player. So that's something that he can turn around and flip it, so it's a positive thing for him. And that's, if I were to say that to him today, it's probably the advice I would give him. It's a good thing. Because you are an impact player and you want to be that type of player. So now it's just about going and playing and trusting who you are.
I know we've kind of gone over this a bit before, but looking back over the last 2 months, what has Connor Zary done for your room and your team?
And maybe not just Connor, Eric, there's a few other guys that have contributed as well. I think, one, there's a push from other guys to see, okay, there are some guys that can come in and play. I think having the young energy around the room is a real important thing for a lot of people, and he's contributed. And that's, I guess, the third probably factor that you could say he's brought to our team. He's been impactful in the minutes and the games that he's played in where he's been able to generate for us.
Mm-hmm. You have a couple of guys like Dustin and Ilya who come in and get some NHL time and then head back to the Wranglers. What's the message? What do you leave them with as they head back to the American League?
There's certain things that we see in their games that you'll leave with, or give them a little bit of feedback, or give them your thoughts as to what they could continue to work on. the good part about the guys that we have that have this year bounced back up and down have taken that to heart. 'Cause sometimes it's when you get sent down, there's a tendency to let your foot off the gas and be a little disappointed. But those guys have all gone down at certain times with the right mindset, right attitude to work on the things that are going to allow them to be full-time players down the road. So those guys have done that, and that's typically what we do is we give them that message as to what we'd like to see them continue to work on. Okay, thank you.